Good morning. What a difference. We had some storms come through, nothing major, and we had some rain, and oh, so much cooler. Supposed to be gorgeous weekend, supposed to be very, very low humidity, and actually a little below normal temperatures, which I will take. I love it. Um, so we're doing a little work in the shop. What I have on the bench now is that window door window motor, car door window motor, and I've got it apart. And a couple of my viewers suggested that the noise was in the bearings of the motor itself. So I got it apart and I successfully oiled the front bearing. There's no way I can get into the rear bearing. I'm not going to try to take that motor apart because I think it's all crimped together, but I'll show you what I've got so far. Here's what I did. I took out this here. I'm going to go to my hardware store today when I go out again, and instead of trying to fart around with a bolt to see if it'll, fit into this nut here that I've got, I'll just bring this with me and see if I can get a couple of the screw on to here. So I cleaned that off to get the grease out of it. I'm gonna degrease all this anyways and put new grease in here. What I did so far is I put some of this oil in here, which is machine oil basically. I could use the Zoom oil, but this is the same thing. I don't need the Zoom spout to get in here. And I oiled, let me get a close-up of this here. All right, I oiled this shaft right down here. And this is rubber, I think. Well, there's rubber around the edge over here. See? I tried cleaning it and I tore it a little bit. There's no way you're going to get out and get into the back bearing here. And that's the problem I have with fans. I mean, we have a couple of fans in the house, small ones, like 10-inch fans. And you can only oil where the blade is on the front bearing. You never can get to the back. Unlike phono motors, you can pull them out and you can get to the rear, but on these things you can't, see? I know it would need oiling in there, but there's no way I'm going to get in it. I think it's crimped in. You can see these two indentations here. See that down there? Right there? So, I got the oil in here. And there's a lot of resistance there because it's strong, magnetically very strong here. So it's a powerful motor. So I charged this battery up. Matter of fact, I left it on for quite a while and I forgot about it in the shed. It's in trickle charge, but the 1-amp motorcycle battery charger always, I always use them on these and I have good luck with that. So let me set you on a tripod here. It did quiet down when I oiled this. Whether this end needs oiling or not, I'm not going to be able to get at that. So we'll have to call this good here. And we're going to put some more oil in it to make sure it gets down in there. Let me get you on a tripod here. Hang on a minute. All right. I think I'm... All right. You can see I've got to clean out this. I'll put new grease in that. I'm not worried about that. Let's try this on the battery here. Okay. It's sounding good. I'll get a little more oil on that. I guess that's plastic. There is rubber down at the bottom here. All right, we got a good amount of oil in there. Yeah, you're not going to get that out. That's pressed in there and crimped at the end. So the only way you're going to oil this is just from this end. So we'll start this again. It don't matter because this is a reversible motor. So the blue and the red. Now we'll reverse it. Okay. Sounds good to me. Yeah, this is Starrett, S-T-A-R-R-E-T-T oil. I showed you this before. For shop, office, home, and sports. Tool and instrument oil. Extra fine lubricant used in our factory to lubricate and protect Starrett precision measuring tools and instruments. Special high refining makes Starrett oil colorless. Okay. Anyways. So now, now what I want to do, I want to clean this out, and I want to make a trip to my hardware store. There's a lot of grease in there. Maybe I'll just add more to it. Why take that out? When I put it back in, I'll just put some grease on the corkscrew there. Okay, there that goes. Very strong high magnetic field here, and almost pulls your screwdriver away, so you gotta be careful. Now, you don't tighten them up until you get all three of them in. There's only 3 in here. Just snug them up and then tighten them up at the end. Okay. Okay, so we know we got oil on the shaft bearing, but like I say, there's nothing I can do about the other end. So let me drop this wheel back in for now. Keep my bench from getting all greasy here, and my hands. And we're going to leave that off here, and we're going to go to the hardware store and see if I can get a coupler, and hopefully I can get one that's at least 1.5 inches long. Now this metal wheel here comes out and locks in here, so it don't leave you very much to screw the couplet on. The coupler is only going to be, when this nut is on there, the shaft here is flush with the top of this nut. It does not protrude beyond that. So in other words, there isn't going to be a lot of threads on the coupler that I'm going to be putting in here. to hold it on. So there is a possibility that it might not support it. It may come off. Because, I mean, you can't crank down like hell and expect it to stay. Now, if you look on the bottom of this, you may not be able to see that, but take my word for it. There's a little knurling on the, the nut has like a built-in washer, but it's all part of the nut. There's a little knurling here. So in other words, it's like a lock washer. So if I take, and maybe I got a star washer, and I think I do, that it can drop down on that stud, and then screw my coupler on there, that could lock it in. Other than that, it would have to be welded in. I don't know how to weld. I don't have a welder, so, you know, that's ideally the way you want to do it. But the problem with that is, if you need to take this apart, you're not going to do it, because it'll be permanently on this. You have to be able to separate this stuff to work on it. So, okay, I just got back from my hardware store. S.O.L, you know what that is. Crappy damn metric. They said it's 5mm, 0.80. That's what the guy at the hardware store wrote down. And he don't have any of those metric things. He does have some metric, but not that. So, damn metric. You can see why I hate it. Give me SAE, good old American standard, any day. And I know there are some of you that are going to criticize me for saying that, but... So I can't do anything with this. So... Now, he had something in American Standard coupler that would go on here, but it would ruin the threads. I can't remember what he said, because he didn't write that down. I want to say 3/16, it could be 5/32. I don't remember. He says you can put it on there, but it's going to ruin these threads. And once I get all this all together, if I need to take it apart, I'm not going to be able to, because it's going to go on there real tight, forced on there, and it'll be a one-time thing. It'll be there, and that's it. So I think we're just going to end the arm portion for now. We're just going to have to get another motor. We cannot use this, at least the way it is designed here. Now, I could drill out this and put like a 1/4-20, good old American Standard 1/4-20 through here, and make my pulley that way. And drill, you know, this is already drilled out to a good size hole there, so you know that could go in there like that. But the problem is, if you don't use this bushing here, this thing here acts as a bushing that will ride in here when you get a lot of lateral pull on the shaft, which will be coming out this end. You've got no support at this end. You need to have this at the other end. That keeps the bearings running straight, the shaft running straight, because there's going to be a lot of lateral pull on this. You see how that's crimped in there? You see how them little ears come out there on the bottom here? It's really rigid right in there. It's part of the plastic. Now I can run the risk of trying to break this off and drilling a 1/4-20 hole all the way through here. I like using 1/4-20 because that's a good size bolt. Will make a good pulley shaft. And put the nut of the bolt, not the nut, but the head of the bolt going in this way and coming out here. In other words, eliminating this and having the shaft go through. Instead of this flat spot, instead of this hole like this, I just drill this hole out bigger. Eliminate this completely, but I run the risk of destroying this. Because this is backwards now, but you see when it rides in here, it's not a perfect, it's sloppy, you know, because there's a rope that goes in there, or a cable, or whatever they originally had. I don't know what the material is. I don't think it's a rope. I think it's a steel cable. But anyways, so even though this wobbles a little bit, this will add support to the shaft that I'm going to put in here. You can't just put a shaft at this end and have it come out here, or put the bolt in the other way and have it come out here, because you're going to have a lot of lateral pull, and you need this in there. Either that, that's not going to work either. I'd have a Mickey Mouse arrangement of putting a washer. I don't know the diameter it is. I don't think it's 2 inches. I'd have to have a washer a little bigger around than this. To go on the 1/4-20, I'd probably have 3 or 4 washers, because that's not driven by the gear in this motor here. I could build it up with a bunch of washers, have my 1/4-20 bolt coming out at this end, and the pulley at this end, or the bolt could go down this way with about maybe 5 or 6 washers in here, so that'll replace this, if you know what I'm trying to say. But it all depends on what I can get. So I won't have to worry about them crappy metric junk. You know, it's cloudy out there. It looks like it's going to rain. Oh. So I'm not pulling the Oracle out and getting all my tools out and then run the risk of having a downpour. The weather guesser says the central part of the state is getting some rain now. But they didn't predict it for us, but I don't believe them. And with my luck, Dorkel will get rained on, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to put this back together for now. And we're just going to have to look for another motor, that's all. We can't have this design. But I will work on this off camera. I just wanted to make this video to show you and give you some entertainment, actually. I wanted to just show you how everything is coming along here on this. So that's it right now, and I'm going to put this back together, as I said, and get, not going to bring Dorkel out until I know the skies are not going to open up on us. So it's probably going to be Saturday and Sunday, and before I get to pull Dorkel out to try the mount trigger. Or maybe later on today, and if it's later on today, I will, you'll certainly have another video on that. So that's it for the motor thing right now. Thanks for watching.